This is WUSA 9 News at 11, and right off the top, we're following two breaking stories in Prince George's County. I'm Leslie Foster.
I'm Lorenzo Hall. Let's begin in Fort Washington, right outside of a recreation center on Fillmore Road. Maryland National Capital Park police tell us that's where someone shot a teenage boy late tonight. Sky 9 flying over that scene just a short time ago, giving us a look at the investigation in progress. Now, investigators tell us that teen is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police have not said who shot this teen or what led up to this violence.
Also breaking right now, Prince George's County police tell us one person is in custody, accused of stealing an Amazon delivery van. Now, this is some new video that you're seeing right now from Central Avenue and Capitol Heights. That's where a very long police pursuit ended tonight. So here's what we know. D.C. police tell us they got an alert from Prince George's County police that a carjacking suspect was driving into D.C. Investigators say that suspect ditched the car in Southeast and then carjacked an Amazon delivery driver. Shots were fired. No one was hurt. This led to a chase that ended with the suspect's arrest in Capitol Heights.
Wow. All right. Tonight, there is a real threat facing kids in our communities. We're talking about the powerful opioid fentanyl.
It has been an especially big concern in Loudon County, where 10 students, 10 of them, have overdosed in recent weeks. Tonight, the school board met for the first time since parents learned about those overdoses. Matthew Torres is live in Ashburn to fill us in on what happened. Matthew?
And Leslie, teachers are wanting a better system to connect students to intervention programs tonight. Community members are still criticizing the school district on when it notified parents about these overdoses. And before the school board meeting here tonight, the superintendent, Dr. Aaron Spence, got to address that during a sit-down exclusive interview with WUSA 9.
Tonight, no signs of scrutiny slowing down against Loudon County Public Schools. Community members still asking why LCPS didn't notify families sooner about a rash of overdoses from one Sterling High School.
911 calls of fentanyl overdoses at our schools have been happening, and the superintendent claims he was not aware of many of them. How can that be?
In the first school board meeting since the news came out, teachers say they've been begging for better solutions.
We must create and fund alternative placement options for students in drug crisis, where they can receive substance abuse support, academic support, and increased supervision that can't be provided in their homeschool setting.
Governor Glenn Youngkin issued an executive order requiring districts to notify parents of school-related overdoses within 24 hours. In this exclusive interview with WUSA 9, Spence says they're still waiting to hear from the Virginia Department of Education on how to move forward.
We're going to wait for the guidance on that. I mean, I've expressed again and again, and I sincerely have concerns about how we do this without violating student privacy laws.
He says there hasn't been a formal notification process before. Spence says with privacy concerns, they could only tell so much about the incidents on campus, but understands now they need to work together to create a better system.
I can understand why people were concerned about that, and I feel strongly that we did the best job we could given the parameters that exist for us.
He agrees with teachers that Loudon County needs more outpatient services for children, even asking Youngkin to come up with an order to address that. There is a chance students could even bring naloxone to school.
That's a policy conversation that we're having right now.
And during a presentation at tonight's school board meeting, they also discussed having more fentanyl awareness events with parents, teaching middle school students about the dangers of fentanyl, more training as far as the opioid reversal drug naloxone, and the possibility of having transition centers or so-called recovery high schools. We're live in Ashburn tonight. I'm Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
It's clear we've got to start talking to our kids early and often about this issue. All right, Matthew, thank you. And WUSA 9's exclusive interview with the new Loudon County Superintendent lasted 30 minutes. You can watch all of it right now on our streaming app, WUSA 9+.
And one more note from Loudon County tonight and the final numbers in the race for Commonwealth's attorney. Election officials just finished counting all of the provisional and mail-in ballots 1 week after Election Day. The final numbers show Republican challenger Bob Anderson in the lead, you can see right there. They have him leading the Democrat incumbent Buda Beberai by just 300 votes.
So we had a message that went out and people listened to it and believed in it, and I appreciate that, and no question about it.
Now, we should point out Beberai has not conceded. The race still needs to be certified. Once that happens, Beberai could request a recount since just 300 votes separate the two.
Tonight, we're following 3 new stories in the district for you. First, police are searching for a man caught on camera smacking a woman hard after he was thrown out of a bar. This is a look at it. Video shows that man hitting the woman right there in the face as she sits there looking at her cell phone. It happened Saturday at a place called Service Bar DC on U Street in Northwest. Just 40 minutes ago, the owner told us she works at the bar. Police say that man had just been kicked out of the bar after he and the woman got into an argument. The bar says he is now banned from the premises. The woman did not suffer any serious injury.
That is tough to watch. All right, D.C. police just gave us new images of the man who's accused of stealing a campus police cruiser at the University of the District of Columbia. Take a good look here. Police say that suspect was recently captured on surveillance cameras. Multiple agencies, including the FBI, are searching for him tonight. That police cruiser, by the way, was stolen from UDC's Van Ness campus last Friday afternoon, I should say, and it appears he used the SUV to go shopping. Officers found the vehicle later that night. If you know where that suspect might be, police definitely want to hear from you.
Have you seen these 3 French bulldogs? Their names are Chewy, Coco, and Buttercup. Police say 3 people walked up to their owner, pulled out a gun, and stole them. It happened early this morning on East Capitol Street in Southeast. Police are offering up to $10,000 for information that leads back to the dogs.
Well, tonight, a plan to keep the government up and running is in the hands of the Senate. The deadline to avoid a shutdown is midnight Friday into Saturday. Just 3 days away. Well, tonight, the House approved House Speaker Mike Johnson's short-term funding measure. The plan would extend government funding at current levels for some agencies until January 19th and the rest until February 2nd. Well, tonight's final vote was 336 to 95. Democrats had to get on board to help get this all passed, and the Senate is expected to approve it and then send it to President Biden.
Bracing for a possible government shutdown is the new normal for so many of our neighbors. They just went through this in September. They're going through it now, and they'll probably go through it again early next year. Our Casey Nolan is live outside the Capitol. And Casey, tonight you followed up with one of our neighbors who we spoke with back in September.
Yeah, that's right, Leslie. Some federal workers we talked to tonight tell us they're breathing a little easier with a short-term fix from the House, but they're not holding their breath that we won't be right back here in this same situation in just a couple of months.
I don't want to cry, but I don't want to be in this situation. This is not a good situation to be in.
That was the last time Mary Harris was staring down a possible shutdown.
To miss 2 paychecks, that means I can't pay my mortgage. I can't pay my gas, electrical, water.
Less than 2 months later, she and more than 2 million federal workers nationwide are once again hoping Congress can keep the government running and their paychecks coming.
You're just kind of in limbo waiting for them to decide that they want to work together.
But this time, Harris says she is better prepared for this Saturday's deadline and whenever the next one could be.
I put my faith in God to get me through. But most importantly, outside of that, just having a strategy for going forward, because this will come back around again.
Harris says after the last shutdown scare, she found a financial counselor through the Greater Washington Urban League and tips from talking with other federal workers, like using zero-interest short-term loans from federal credit unions to help survive a shutdown.
One of the things I did was switch banks. So I could have that ability to still get a paycheck even if the government is shut down.
Now she just hopes lawmakers can put in the work to avoid future shutdowns.
Congress, do your job so we don't have to keep being here every year.
And Mary points out a lot of the help that is out there is for federal employees, not federal contractors. And a lot of federal contractors work jobs like cooks and custodians who keep buildings like this one running and federal buildings all over the country, unless they're the ones who likely won't see back wages after any shutdown.
And Mary's very concerned about that, obviously, because she's got some family members in that same situation. So everybody is watching this closely. Casey, thank you. So lawmakers managed to fund the government for now. But the hours leading up to that vote involved one lawmaker calling another a Smurf, a congressman allegedly elbowing another in the kidney, and a Senate hearing that almost turned into a brawl.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, every problem?
No, sit down.
Right, you're a clown.
Sit down.
Okay.
You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay. Sit down, please.
You all continue to, you look like a Smurf here, just going around and all this stuff. Now listen.
Mr. Chairman, you have.
I'm going to tell you something.
Hold on. If we're not on time,
we spew disinformation.
Got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys, and I turned back, and there was Kevin.
No, I did not elbow him. No, I would not elbow him. I would not hit him in a kidney.
Congress, you okay? You're getting paid and paid well to do the people's business. But to a lot of folks, your office looked a lot more like middle school today.
That it did. All right, and just down the road from the Capitol, tens of thousands of people gathered on the mall. You can see right there. They called it a March for Israel, a huge rally to show support for that country and to condemn anti-Semitism here and abroad.
There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Jews, and we have never been able to come together like this in such a powerful way.
My main reason is to talk about bringing the hostages back.
We just feel so badly for the kidnapped people, and we want to stand together.
Yeah, and tonight there is some hope surrounding those hostages held by Hamas. CBS News reporting tonight, Hamas says it's ready to release up to 70 women and children in exchange for a 5-day ceasefire. Israeli officials say negotiations are ongoing. The White House says President Biden has been on the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. President Biden says he believes Israel and Hamas can reach a deal.
D.C. police have a new way to ticket drivers, and it starts tomorrow.
Yeah, there is a mistake you really want to avoid, or it's going to cost you big time. Details on that in just 60 seconds. Looking ahead to tomorrow now, be especially mindful of where you park your car.
Otherwise, you might get busted by a bus. Here's why. Tomorrow, the district will start issuing fines to owners who leave their vehicles parked or if they idle around a Metro bus stop. And that fine is not pretty. It's $100, and it follows a warning period that began back in the summer.
Metro has installed traffic cameras on dozens of its buses, so any vehicle blocking that bus stop will get its picture taken. And the owner? Yeah, again, a $100 fine.
Stay up 15 more minutes with us. We just talk about a divided Congress. All new tonight, why some local Democrats may soon vote with lawmakers on the far right.
I'm looking ahead to our next warm-up and new model data in tonight on the next chance for showers. Updates straight ahead in DC's most accurate forecast.
Then in the nightcap, puppies and hockey. What could be better?
We're so happy you're here with us on this Tuesday night.
These stories and so much more in less than 2 minutes.
16-year-old Jay loved art and adventure, but earlier this year, the Silver Spring teen died from subway surfing on the Metro. Jay was videotaping himself when he slipped while riding on the top of a moving train. His parents blame social media, saying he was addicted to the likes, shares, and views.
If he wasn't able to post those pictures online, get those likes, he most likely would not have been on top of that train.
Tomorrow night at 11, we're speaking with Jay's parents about the changes they want from social media companies and Metro to prevent this from happening to someone else. Again, that's tomorrow night at 11, right here on WUSA 9.
All right, at stake now, billions of dollars, thousands of jobs. Tonight, new reporting on the future of the FBI headquarters. This all centers on a decision from the General Services Administration to put that site in Maryland, not Virginia. And you know, not everyone is happy about how this process played out. Our Adam Longo spent the day on Capitol Hill as lawmakers grilled the head of the GSA.
We have many steps to go. This will be investigated. This will be examined.
Northern Virginia Democratic Congressman Jerry Connolly pledging it isn't over. The Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee agrees.
We have a lot of concerns in addition to the site selection as to whether or not the FBI is deserving of a building with that price tag.
The decision last Wednesday night to award the new FBI headquarters to Greenbelt in Prince George's County was mired in controversy by Thursday morning.
I understand Virginia being a little concerned that they did not win this.
FBI Director Christopher Wray sent a letter to FBI employees alleging that Nina Albert, the woman in charge of selecting Greenbelt, was biased towards Prince George's County and had a conflict of interest since she previously worked for WMATA, and it owns the land in Greenbelt where the new FBI headquarters is slated to be built.
This has been a very clear process. She was vetted properly. She passed every review.
Albert has not responded to our multiple requests for comment, and she now works for Mayor Bowser's administration.
I asked my general counsel to look into all of the concerns that were raised in Director Ray's letter, and they found those to be without merit.
He says we have concerns about fairness and transparency in the process and GSA's failure to adhere to its own site selection plan. So he didn't just say there were problems. He said you didn't follow your own rules. And you say that's not true?
Our general counsel found that we did follow all of the rules.
What do you say? You're the boss.
I agree that we followed all of the rules.
Everybody knows that we need a new FBI headquarters.
Do you believe that the FBI needs a new headquarters?
Absolutely not.
145 Republicans voted last week to prohibit Congress from buying the Greenbelt site. The move failed, but it is likely to be raised again.
If that facility is indeed terrible, I mean, again, why are they trying to, again, locate it in Washington, D.C.? You can get way better, cheaper land in other parts of the country, so why do they want to consolidate it?
We have common interest in looking at this particular issue. We do not have the same motivation for why.
Congressman Connolly not ruling out voting with Republicans to keep the government from buying the Greenbelt site. That's one of the next steps in this process. Now, I tried to speak with Administrator Carnahan after the hearing. I just wanted to ask if you could assure our folks on this side of the Potomac that the process was fair for FBI.
Absolutely.
Adam Longo, WUSA 9.
WUSA 9 Weather Watch is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Stop cheating.
I couldn't help
cheating.
it. I could not help it.
Cheating.
It's huge. It's right there.
Don't look.
Don't look.
Don't look.
Okay.
Were you sneaking?
Is that better?
He was sneaking a peek.
No, were you sneaking around at Christmas time when you were a kid? I bet you were.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
not.
Yeah,
Shaking the boxes
he didn't let. There wasn't a whole lot. He had to hide the stuff from Zoe, right?
Yeah. So I showed this earlier. This is just a spectacular picture. Sometimes we have to show pictures twice. This is Fawn Lake in Spotsylvania County, and just look at the colors. This is sunrise today. And look at the composition. That is pretty good. So Greg never disappoints. Greg McCary of Fawn Lake, Virginia. He's an honorary weather watcher and father to our executive producer at all. Transparency there. That is pretty awesome. And he can fly a drone really well. All right, so for tomorrow, it will be cold at the bus stop. 40 downtown, but low 30s in the burbs. Ending up to be a beautiful day, though. I mean, 56 at noon and 58 at 3 o'clock. That's a pretty good day. In fact, that's spot on average for our high temperatures, 58, 59, and some of us might even top over 60. We'll talk about this again. The yellow is abnormally dry. This is a severe drought. That's an extreme drought. So everybody is in some kind of situation where we're way below rainfall, between 8 and 20 inches below. Don't burn any leaves or yard waste, please. I'm going to jump ahead to Friday. 8:30, this is the American model. It has a little bit of shower activity in the mountains, but watch what happens. It just like dries up as it moves through overnight Friday into Saturday morning. So that's not really much to hang our hat on. Good news for the Terps game, good news for the Commanders game, but not much to hang our hat on. I am going to show you this, and this is kind of interesting. This is a mix, and this is the same American model. This is Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Blue is snow. That is a mixture. I think it's got a cold bias. I don't know what it's smoking, but I think this is wrong. But I do think Tuesday into Wednesday is going to be our best chance for rain. Now, it kicks it to rain overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and then begins to clear us out Wednesday morning, which would be good because that's the travel day, Wednesday. So we want that out of here. Even Tuesday is a pretty big travel day now. So this is the take with the same event by the European model, a little slower. This is 11:30 Tuesday morning, and then it moves through Tuesday into Tuesday night. The bulk of the rain rolls through, and that's calling for over 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. So that would be a good soaking November rain, which is really what we need. Not going to get it soon, though. So nice tomorrow, beautiful on Thursday. Afternoon clouds on Friday, but still dry on Friday and dry for high school football. Saturday, I took the shower out. I gave up. Morning clouds, though. I kept that in. Nice for the Terps game. Cool for the Commanders at 1 o'clock. Cold on Monday, and I do think we are going to have a cold rain developing on Tuesday. High struggle to get to 50 downtown, in the 40s in the burbs. Okay, guess what's heading our way on Friday? It is our winter weather outlook. We'll talk about how much snow will fall and why, and also the first day.
Okay.
Our first snowfall, the date.
Okay, Friday, 11 o'clock. We got it.
All right.
You have some dates too, don't you?
December 3rd, December 8th.
December 8th,
Those are
yeah.
bets, okay?
I'll give you mine on
And
Friday.
if it works out that it happens on one of our dates, we'll bequeath that to you,
Thank
and then
you.
you'll be the winner.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know who won
Generous
today,
of you, huh?
Des?
Oh, yeah?
Everybody who came to the Caps game and saw
Oh,
those
yeah.
cute little cuddly puppies at the
Caps
game.
Canines night out at Capital One Arena tonight, and they were doing their part to help find those beautiful puppies some loving homes. But as far as what happened on the ice, to be the best, you have to beat the best. We'll see how the Caps fared against the defending Stanley Cup champs next in sports.
WUSA 9 Sports Report with Desmond Purnell.
The Capitals had no problems getting up for tonight's game. That's because the defending Stanley Cup champs were in town, the Vegas Knights. No better way to see how you measure up against the best than to fight the best. And when I say fight, I really do mean fight. First period, Dylan McElrath trying to punch out Keegan Colasar, and eventually he did. That would set the tone for the Caps tonight. First period, 2-on-1 for the Caps. Dylan Strome takes advantage. Great shot from Strome. Caps lead 1-0, and they would never look back. Late in the third period, Connor McMichael scores on an empty netter. A few seconds later, Beck Mellenstein gets the steal, goes the other way for another score. The Caps pick up a huge win over the reigning champs. 3-0 is your final. On to the NBA. Despite having a 23-point lead, the Wizards lost to the Raptors last night, dropping their record to a dismal 2-8. Washington will look to rebound against the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. College basketball now. Undefeated, and it feels so good. Sing it if you know it. That's what George Washington is singing so far this season. 2-0 heading into tonight's matchup against Hofstra. Second half, James Bishop IV gets to the rim for 2 of his 17 points. GW would continue to attack the rim. Trey Autry, flash it when you feel it. Finish there, young man. GW remains undefeated on the young season. Final score, 71-60. Meanwhile, the Commanders are not out of the playoff mix just yet, but their chances are seriously fading. Currently, Washington is 2 spots outside the final wildcard berth. So it is not cliche to say that Sunday's matchup against the New York Giants is a must-win situation for the Commanders. In an exclusive interview, our very own Chick Hernandez spoke with head coach Ron Rivera about facing a Giants team that's already beaten the Commanders earlier this season.
You got the Giants next.
Okay.
7 points last time out with 6 sacks given up. That's a painful tape to look at, maybe. How different of a team are you from that game?
Well, I think we're a lot different. I really do. I think there's some good things that we've done and grown into as a team. I think especially on the offensive line, I think we have some good things that we're doing right now. I think there's a little more comfort with some of the things that EB is doing as far as the offensive scheming is concerned. So I think our guys are kind of putting it together on that side. And again, if we can be consistent as a team, we give ourselves a good opportunity and chance.
Consistency. That's been the issue with the Commanders all season long. They can't seem to put a full game together. They're almost in those games. They're almost winning, but as Brandy taught us a long time ago, almost doesn't count.
It doesn't. It sure doesn't count. But also, you keep saying Commanders must win game. All the games are must win games at this point, right?
Definitely. With 6 losses, the margin of error is extremely small.
We're in a better place now than we were last time we played the
but the teams get harder now, too, going forward, right?
They got the Giants coming up this weekend, and then that big Thanksgiving showdown with the Dallas Cowboys.
Who knew you could sing, by the way?
You were listening.
Going to the break. Going to the break. It's time for the nightcap, so check this out. If you took that TV show The Bachelor, mixed in a little Animal Planet, added a little ESPN, it might look something like this. Hockey hunks and cuddly K-Dogs.
That was a lot. Yeah, Des, we know you were there tonight as the Washington Capitals hosted what they call Caps K9's night. Before the game, Ovi and his teammates gave some love to these dogs from Wolf Trap Animal Rescue in Fairfax County. Look at that little one there.
That's right, guys. All of these dogs are up for adoption. This whole Caps Canines night was about helping to find these shelter animals a loving home. By the way, Caps Canines night raises money that benefits shelters and rescue groups all across the country.
And they're so good.
They are fantastic. How about that forecast? How good is that?
It's good. I mean, upper 50s, low 60s tomorrow, and then 60s on Thursday and Friday.
That's a good deal. Thanks for staying up with us tonight.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is next. You have a great night. Get some rest. See you back here tomorrow.